If you're anything like me, you use Apple CarPlay in your vehicle all the time because, well, the nav system in your car probably isn't as great and Google Maps is awesome, plus all that phone integration, right? Well, there's a few companies out there offering a wireless CarPlay solution, and I got really excited about that, so I decided to get a couple units and find out how well they work. I'm going to tell you all about it right now. Hi folks, welcome to my channel. I'm Daniel, and if you haven't been here before, I do a lot of car stuff, especially Cadillac. I do product reviews and how-tos. I even slip in a little aviation stuff, so if that stuff interests you, please hit the subscribe button. Now, in one of my earliest videos, I showed people how they can upgrade their Cadillac nav system, the Q system, to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto if it didn't come with it already. I have a 2015 Cadillac CTS, and I put in 2016 modules and programmed it to my VIN, and now I have Apple CarPlay. It's one of the best mods I've done because I use it every single day I drive. And the only bad part about Apple CarPlay is you can't just get in your car and it works. You have to plug in your phone every time. And it's not really a big deal, but wireless would be even better. So I decided to get these two modules from two different companies. I decided on them because they were the ones bombarding my Facebook and Instagram and the borders of my websites with their ads, so I thought I'd check them out. CPlay to Air or CarPlay to Air, it's written both ways on their website, seems to have a lot of good reviews, lots of 5-star reviews. With all these positive reviews, I felt confident that it would work. Plus, 9to5Mac did an article on it, and it worked pretty well for them with just a few minor flaws. The product is about $130. They sent me this demo one for free, and thank you to them, but still my opinions are my own here. I also looked at CoPilot wireless CarPlay. That's about $170. Most of the reviews only ever complained about little things like, oh, there's a tiny bit of lag, but otherwise it's awesome or worked perfectly in my car. And in the world of Amazon reviews, we trust those things. So I thought, well, it's probably likely that this thing works, so I'm gonna get them. Now, the CoPilot one, they didn't have a demo available for me, but they did give me a slight discount so I could try it out for this video. Now, in case you're wondering, this is not a solution for Android Auto. In fact, Google changed some things up recently, and now they've got their own wireless Android Auto system that works with the Wi-Fi that's already in your car. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with the Wi-Fi in my Cadillac. Both of these devices work on basically the same principle. That is that they plug into the USB port that you would usually use for Apple CarPlay. They connect with your phone via Bluetooth to establish a connection, and then they hand that connection off over to the Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi has a higher bandwidth, so it can transmit all that CarPlay data, right? And boom, you got wireless CarPlay. Or do you? Let's find out. So the first product is CarPlay to Air or CPlay to Air, and it came in this nice box, came within a few days of ordering it. Inside the box, you find a manual that shows you, of course, how to connect the device, how to maybe troubleshoot it, as well as how to check the latest firmware and update that firmware. There's even an option to log the connection so you can send it into tech support for troubleshooting. The CarPlay to Air device is basically a little dongle. That's right, I said dongle, that's what it's called. And it is just a plastic enclosure with a USB-A plug attached, and you just plug it into your car. On the back side, it's got two tiny LEDs, a red one and a blue one to show whether you're connected or not, and a USB female port, so you can maybe do a pass-through connection. Now, the other device is CoPilot, and this came out of New Zealand, so it took over 3 weeks to get here. But once I got it, I definitely like the look of it better. It looks more modern, more sleek, and the USB cable is separate. It's got a USB-C to USB-A plug, and I like this because I could put maybe a longer cable and I could hide the device somewhere to make it a little more stealthy, maybe behind an interior panel or something. It has this bar on the front that is the red light and also the, I think it was green or blue light to indicate that it was connected, and it has the extra USB port for pass-through as well. Opening the box, I was greeted by a user manual, which looked a little familiar. Okay. And then inside you've got the device and your little cable. That's all there is to it, nicely packed. All right, let me show you how to plug these into your car and get them going. All right, folks, hold on a sec. Before we get to that, remember how those manuals were exactly the same? That's because The products seem to be the same, just in a different enclosure. When I hooked them up, they had the same user interface on my nav screen, and they both had the same flaws. And I'm going to tell you about those, but from now on, I'm just going to use one device for the rest of the video because you can consider it the same for both. All right, the first thing you want to do is make sure your phone is not connected to any other Bluetooth or Wi-Fi sources. It's okay if it's attached to your Apple Watch on Wi-Fi, that doesn't matter. But you also want to remove your phone from your car's nav system in the Bluetooth pairing section. Now that that's done, you can go ahead and make sure the car's started to ensure that all the power is there, plug in the device, and you should see a little red light after about 10 seconds. That's how long it takes to boot up. Once that comes on, a CarPlay logo will show up on your screen where it normally does, and when you hit that, you get this sort of sign-on screen. This is the user interface that's the same between both devices. Then you go to your phone's Bluetooth and you select the Bluetooth signal that's currently out there. And this one says Caddy and some numbers, so you know it goes to my Cadillac. And then once you do that, it'll ask you if you want to connect to Apple CarPlay, and it will, and then it switches over to Wi-Fi, and you can see that it's connected to this Wi-Fi signal. The light on the device will turn blue to show that it's connected, and now you have Apple CarPlay running wirelessly on your car. It looks exactly the same. You might see highlighted letters, kind of like they have in some cars that don't have a touch screen, but actually those went away for me. Everything functions like it should, at least for a while. So I decided to go for a daily life run. I went to the grocery store and I used wireless CarPlay. For the whole 5-minute drive, it worked great, of course, and I parked, got my groceries, and when I came back, I got in the car and it didn't automatically connect. And that was really disappointing because, you know, that's the purpose of this, right? The only way I could get it to reconnect is by unplugging the device and plugging it back in, and then boom, it would connect again. So I was kind of disappointed about that because it's the same thing I'd have to do if I was plugging in my phone. All right, no problem. So I drive home, and a couple days later, it's COVID time, so I'm not going many places. I went on a longer drive, and after consistently about 9 minutes with the CarPlay to Air and 5 or 6 minutes with CoPilot for some reason, the audio would start to lag and get scratchy.
So you're not asking me to do a melody or invent anything?
No, just hit your pen where you feel the 5th beat is.
The only way I could get it to stop being like that is to usually switch apps. Some people said that if they just paused it and play again, it would come back, but every 9 minutes or so, it would go scratchy. And even worse, when I was using the maps, the map would start to get pixelated after a while. Again, the only way I could get it is to sort of restart or change apps. So what I'm seeing here is that the data just doesn't flow fast enough, and I would think that they would have been able to sort out this problem, but it didn't work in my car. The next flaw that I didn't like was when Google Maps gives you directions, right? The voice comes up, and when the voice is talking, you can usually hit your volume buttons and change the level of the directions voice, right? And that's a separate volume. It's a pretty standard thing in cars. Well, with these devices, both of them, you change the voice volume, it ends up changing your music, and next thing you know, your music's blasting. There's no separate adjustment, and that really sucked, but not a deal breaker. The audio lag, definitely a deal breaker, and not connecting automatically, that's pretty rough for me. Now, you remember I said that I have a 2015 CTS that didn't have CarPlay to begin with. Well, the upgrade includes actual original parts. This is no hack job. So my car is identical to a 2016 that had OEM CarPlay in there. So there shouldn't be any difference, but just to be absolutely sure, I tried it on another CTS that was a 2016 that had Apple CarPlay from the factory, and the same problems existed. We only tested the reconnect, the automatic reconnect, just once, and it did work, but with a lot of these cars, especially the Cadillacs, you've got to lock it, shut it down, walk away, wait for it to completely power down. I don't know quite how long that takes, and maybe that was why it's still reconnected, because it hadn't completely shut off. I don't know. Either way, I also tried it with two other cars, the 2016 Colorado and a 2017 Chevy Volt. They had the same audio lag issues, but I didn't get a chance to try reconnection issues or the map pixelization or anything. And if you're saying, well, maybe it's GM cars, well, guess what? I tried it on my buddy's 2019 Mazda Miata MX-5 that had Apple CarPlay, and we got CarPlay to start up for about 2 seconds, and then it crashed his nav system. It completely rebooted. And it just cut out. It lasted how long?
Oh man, it was. Oh, uh-oh. I've lost.
And the system is frozen.
And it crashed.
And it's rebooting. It crashes the Mazda Miata. And so we tried it one more time, same results. After that, we gave up. Definitely not working on his 2019 Mazda Miata. Now, I did talk to another owner of a 2016 CTS, and he said that the device used to work pretty good, like 90%, but lately it's been having a few more bugs, and he hasn't heard back from the device manufacturer either. Now, I want to take a minute to talk about customer service. You know, with customer service, the things I expect are if I call you, you answer. If I email you, you better reply in a reasonable amount of time. I know it's COVID times, takes a little longer, fine. And then if I have a problem with the device, that you offer a refund or a fix or something to make me happy. Well, I checked with CarPlay to Air, and of course it was nice of them to send this product to me, but I had to send a few emails to get them to respond. And when they finally did, they just said, oh, well, maybe it's the unit, we'll send you another unit. Great. Well, 3 weeks later, I never saw another unit, and I emailed them, and I think it's been at least 4 or 5 days, and they still haven't emailed me back. I was like, hey, where's this unit? Did you send it? Nothing. It's so weird to me. Okay, fine. Well, maybe they don't care because they gave it to me. I don't know. How about CoPilot? CoPilot was nice. They actually responded in a reasonable amount of time after a couple days. And when I told them about my problems, they quickly offered me a refund and even a priority mail label to ship it back, which is great because I was really worried I'd have to ship it all the way back to New Zealand and wait like a month until I got a refund. But they offered that right away. However, I emailed them and asked them, hey, are you sure there's no fixes for this? Because I'd really like to keep it. If not, then yeah, I'll take the label. I haven't heard from them in a couple days now, so that's a little disheartening. Something else I thought was funny is no one ever asked me for a log of the device for tech support. Like, I feel like that's the easiest thing. Let's see what the problem is. Maybe they already know this problem exists and they just don't have a fix for it. I don't know. Now, I'm really bummed about this because I was looking forward to a full wireless solution. In my next video, I'm going to be showing you how you can upgrade the wireless charging in your Cadillac to accommodate modern and larger phones, and this would have been the perfect wireless solution, but not yet. Now, there's probably no harm in you ordering this and trying to see if it works on your car. I mean, you can return it if it doesn't work, apparently. But please, if you do, let me know in the comments if it worked or not. And hopefully I don't get any fake comments because honestly, a lot of those reviews out there, I don't know if they're legit. But if this video helps you decide if you want to try it or not, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. Also subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my future videos. I might have an update in the future for you. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching the Jet Fuel Only channel. I'll see you next time.